all, Violet here, second generation homeschooling mom of 3. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a toddler. Today I wanted to share some books that we checked out from the library this month, so let's get into it. These first few books are all kind of spring-themed books that I thought looked fun. This first one is called An ABC of Flowers, and they're all real pictures of flowers with the name of the flower. And then there's this little cartoon character who kind of is along with you for the journey. So my kids like this, especially my youngest. She's really interested in kind of realistic nature things like that right now. This next book is called Hello Puddle by Anita Sanchez. And Anita Sanchez also wrote a Poison Ivy book that I think was in my last library haul video that we really enjoyed. So this is just a cute book all about the ecosystem of a puddle and all the animals that use puddles. So we really liked that one. This next book is called Little Witch Hazel, A Year in the Forest, and it has 4 stories, one for each month of the year. And in each one, she has a little adventure that's related to the season. So in the spring, she rescues an egg, for example. So this one was really cute. My kids really like seasonal stories, like this book and like Brambly Hedge. They really liked those. This book is called Bees, A Honeyed History. And this one was cool. We did not read every single thing in this book, but we looked at a lot of the pictures and talked about kind of the more interesting, the ones that captured my kids' attention. So yeah, this was a really fun book. This next book is a math book, Millions, Billions, and Trillions, Understanding Big Numbers. My kids are constantly interested in these concepts, especially my middle. But this book just talks about different ways and shows different ways to represent all of these larger numbers. So that was cool. This next book is called Humanimal, Incredible Ways Animals Are Just Like Us. And so each spread is one particular thing that humans and animals share, and then it talks more about the specific animal that they're talking about. So we again did not read every page in this book, just the ones that my kids were interested in, like this octopus page. My son loves ocean stuff, so anytime there's an ocean animal, I know we'll be reading about that. This next book is called Get Dressed, a historical guessing game for fashion lovers. My daughter especially liked this book. She read it all on her own, and then I kind of looked through it a little bit with my other kids. But each initial spread introduces a time period and a place and gives you an idea of some typical kinds of dress, and then it goes through specific pieces of clothing and talks more about them. So yeah, this book my kids really enjoyed, especially my oldest. She really, really liked it. These next 2 books are choose your own adventure kind of books. I have a whole video about our favorite choose your own adventure books that I will link down below if you're interested. But this first one is from Lonely Planet Kids, Around the World in 50 Ways. And I thought this one was going to be cooler than it was. So essentially on each page you are in a place and then you can choose. I thought it was going to be different methods of transportation, but most of them are just you're choosing to fly different amounts of time. Some of them do have, like this one, for example, catch a plane or take a boat, but a lot of them are you're just choosing how long you want to fly. So I was a little bit disappointed in that, but it was still a cool book. My kids still enjoyed going through it. This next one I think was a little bit simplistic for my kids. They still liked it, but they didn't spend as long with it as they do some other choose your own adventure books that we have. This is called Story Path. Choose a path, tell a story. And each page has 5 choices, and then you move on to the next page. So we have some other storytelling books that they liked a lot better than that, just because there's a lot more choices on each page. And also this one, the format stayed the same for a lot of pages. So they did like this one, but I don't think we'll be adding it to our collection. This next book my son checked out. It's from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, Where the Weird Things Are, an Ocean Twilight Zone adventure. So this little submersible goes to the Twilight Zone and sees all sorts of cool ocean stuff. So my son really liked this. He had all sorts of things to say about the different animals they met. He'd met a lot of them in octonauts already. And then they have real pictures at the end, which my son deeply appreciated. So yeah, this was a really cool book as well. My son right now, his reading has taken off recently, so he's reading this Dragon Masters series right now. There's a ton of these books, like 26 or something. And so he's reading his way through this series, in addition to rereading all of his other books that he loves. My daughter right now is reading a bunch of stuff, including The Secret of Kells, the graphic novel. My kids have never seen this movie. I don't think I've seen all of it, but I've seen bits of it. And so the graphic novel the art style is very similar to the movie. So my daughter is enjoying this. It's based on Celtic mythology and writing the Book of Kells, but there's some fantastical elements. It looks fun. This next graphic novel is a historical one. I Survived the Great Molasses Flood of 1919. This is something that my husband talks about a lot because he used to teach physics, and the molasses flood happened because of brittle fracture in the molasses tanks. So this was fun to kind of talk about with my kids because I've heard about it a lot at least. This next book is by Raina Telgemeier, and it's called The Cartoonist Club, and it's with somebody else, I believe. Sorry, there's stickers all over the front of it. Yeah, so it's all about how you write comics, and it's in comic form. So my daughter really enjoyed this book too. This next book is from Brains On. It's called Road Trip Earth. My kids really like the Brains On podcast, and they've liked all the Brains On books that they've checked out. This one's all about Earth and different geography things and a little bit about the moon and stuff at the end there. So they enjoyed this one, especially my daughter. And then for my daughter in science right now, she's learning about the water cycle. We're getting to that part of building foundations of scientific understanding. So I checked out this book, Water Cycles, to kind of be some supplemental reading for that. I just thought it was really, really cool. So it's all sorts of different water cycles. Animals that live in the water, different ways water travels around the earth, things like that. Different ways water travels through our house. So yeah, this is really cool. This is really helpful to go along with talking about the different ways the water cycle works in building foundations of scientific understanding, because that also gets into water traveling around your house, water traveling around the world in different ways, all of that. And then we liked the water cycles book a lot. So we've checked out this life cycles book before, but I thought we might as well check it out again. My kids could just peruse it. But this is cycles of all sorts of different things, plants, animals, weather, stuff like that. So this book is also really cool. This next stack of books I have to show you are books from my son's fish tank ELA unit, which is the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle unit from the kindergarten level ELA units. This first book is actually not part of the rest of the unit, but it's sort of related. So I checked it out anyway because I remember really liking this book the last time I read it when my kids were really little. I'm actually not even sure my son was aware of like books and stuff the last time I read it, but it's called A Green Place to Be, The Creation of Central Park. So I haven't read this to my kids yet. I'm planning to read it when we're done with the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle unit, but it's all about the architects who designed Central Park and all the different things that went into that. And if they like this book, there are a few other similar like public park design type biography books. Like there's one about the woman who designed one of the central parks in somewhere, maybe in San Francisco. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've read it, but we'll pull in some of those other books as well if they like that one. I hope they do. So for this recycle unit, this book, What a Waste, is the spine. So you read from it several times, introducing different recycling and pollution topics. And then there are a bunch of supplemental books. One of the books I returned already, unfortunately, but it was poetry, so that was really cool, different environmental poems. And then we have Recycle by Gail Gibbons that goes through the process of recycling different things. The 3 R's, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, which again is kind of more background information about recycling and different ways you can recycle. It has a few activities in the back. Then there's Harlem Grown, which is about an urban garden, turning an empty lot into a source of food. This book is called Compost Stew, and it's all about food waste and turning it into compost and other yard waste too. We talk about food waste a lot in our family, but we also compost leaves and things like that. Rainbow Weaver. This is about a girl who turns plastic bags into cloth by weaving them together. One Plastic Bag. This is about a similar story, how these women wash these plastic bags and instead of weaving them, they crochet them into reusable bags. So that's cool too. Those are all the books that I have from that unit. We've been enjoying it so far. Although I still don't think it's an adequate replacement for the dinosaur unit that they archived to add the recycling unit, but whatever. We read a lot of dinosaur books on our own. The last book that I have to show you is a book that I'm reading right now. It's Soul School by Amber O'Neill Johnston. I read her first book, A Place to Belong, and I really enjoyed it. So this is essentially a guide to Black American history and kind of everything that you need to be thinking about as a parent teaching it, and then a lot of resources and things to discuss with your kids. So I haven't read very much of it yet, but so far I'm really enjoying it. So I highly recommend. She has a really helpful blog that has all sorts of resources as well. I'll link that below, but I readily recommend all of her stuff. That is everything I have to share with you today. I hope you found that helpful. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I'll link everything in the description box below. I am a bookshop affiliate, so if you click on a link and make a purchase, I do receive a small commission. Thank you for watching.